Without a sister, Lord, without a brother, this is a mean world to try to live in, to try to stay in until you die. This is a mean world.
Until you die. This is a mean world, monkeys. Welcome to Monkey Time. It's for mean monkeys like you and me. Ho! We got a lot in the news. We got a lot to talk about today. Pat McCrory, Carol. Gotta love him. Can we put up number 8, Carol, please? Number 8. Number 8, monkeys. Number 8. Point number 8. Ready? Yes. Let's just breathe. Smell that. Smell that data, Carol. The delicious smell of knowledge, of facts. I love this outsiders stuff, Carol. Have you been following this?
I didn't even know they were trying to claim that.
Pat McCrory, they're using language from the 1960s. They're using language right, whoop, there's a ball, get your bald head out of here. They're using language right from the 1960s. Outside agitators. Oh, outside agitators. For the record. Now what they're saying, Carol, is that that wouldn't be true. Oh, no, seriously, take a deep breath. Smell. I love to smell a Factoids in the morning. 98% have been local. All church, the first, I don't know, I was going to these from I think the second one, and it was just churches. The second one was almost all Chapel Hill churches. Chapel Hill churches. That was the second one. And Durham churches. And then it grew and grew and grew. And then we got national attention. And now we got op-eds in the New York Times, the Washington Post. We got articles in the New York Times today. Was it today or yesterday? Today, I think. Right? Yeah, we linked to the New York Times article today. And now, suddenly, it's outside agitators. I love that. Right out of Bull Connor. Right out of Medgar Evers. It's perfect. Today was the anniversary of Medgar Evers' death, Carol. Yeah. The celebration, mourning, honoring. And here's Pat McCrory talking about outside agitators. Whoa. Same fights, monkeys. Same fights. Over and over and over, and over and over and over, and over and over and over again. We got to fight the same damn fights. Okay. 98%. And they're saying it's all these like, oh, because one union guy from up north was there. And now that they're getting national attention, they're saying they're getting it all ass backwards. Ass backwards. Yep. Ass backwards. Started local, stayed mostly local. In a tornado, Carol. There was tornadoes all over the Legislative Mall Monday. People was hanging on to their hats and to the light poles for their dear lives. Their legs was up in the air, their heads was upside down, and they were screaming, "What do we want? Justice!" In a tornado. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. Tornado warnings didn't stop them. All right. So what do we got next, Carol? Oh, yeah! Everybody wave to the NSA looking at you through your TV and recording your every move while you're scratching yourself. Everybody wave to your TV. Hi, government. Hi. How you doing? You see me? They do, you know. They do. The government's got a camera in your television and in your radio. There's a camera in your radio. And your iPods have cameras, and they tell the government where you are at all times. Well, that last part's actually true. That last part is actually true. And guess what's happening? The government and Google and Yahoo and Facebook and all of them are like, well, can we get permission, government, to talk about this now, please? Now that we've been called out? And it's so funny. It's so funny. I mean, you know, Google, we know, you know what flash cookies are, Carol, right? Carol works on the web. She knows flash cookies. For years, without any permission, private companies have been able to put these little cookies on your computer secretly. There's no like, yes, I agree to have you track all of my whereabouts. Yes, yes, thank you. Flash cookies. I don't even know, are flash cookies still the technology du jour? Or has something else come up? The point is, without you even knowing it, private companies have been putting flash cookies on your computer that tell them every website that can tell them, I should say, every website you visit. When did you agree to that? I didn't agree to that. Did you agree to that? I didn't agree to that. But somehow it happened. Somehow it became the norm. Oh, there's no more privacy anymore. Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg, because you guys have been putting flash cookies on my computer without my permission and hiding it and tracking everywhere I go online without my permission.
Using free services, they'll do
Free services, they do what they want, Carol says. Carol, you are so right. What's the line? If you're not paying for it, you're the product. Anyway, now the government, it's come out, and I'm sorry about this Edward Snowden, is he hero or traitor? He's both. He's both. Just like George Washington was a traitor and a hero too. Is there a problem, Carol? Nope. Okay. Because I can sit up straighter. I can clear my throat and speak clearer. I can modulate my voice so I don't just sound like the typical left-wing harangue. Oh, the dulcet tones of the left-wing harangue. No, seriously. This one's for conservatives. Because mainstream Dems and mainstream Republicans are useless on this crap. Okay, first off, we ready? 1, don't listen to the folks who say this is old news. Yeah, I know Shia LaBeouf did that movie and blah, blah, blah. But this is not old news. This is new. This is new. It's bad enough that in 2007, 2008, they passed this law that let them, without warrants. All we're asking for is a warrant, Carol. Even a warrant after the fact. Even a warrant after you start the surveillance. That's all we're asking for. And they refuse. Oh, no, we can't do that. We just need this massive, whoop, scoop it up. Scoop it up. We need it all right now. And Obama's lying. Oh, we're not listening to your actual content of your phone calls. No, just who you call, when you call, where you are when you call them, where they are, all the location. It's hugely invasive, no warrant required, and they're storing this information. If you don't see how this could be a problem in the future, you're being a fool. You are. You're being a fool. And here's the thing, Carol. When a Republican president, Gallup just did a poll, which showed that 50% of Americans think Edward Snowden's a hero, and 50% think he's a villain. That's pretty damn good, Carol. 50-50. Hey, I'm used to being like 80-20. 80%, yeah, invade Iraq, yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm one of the 20. I'm used to 80-20. It feels good. I feel hopeful for the future of America. That now, monkeys, 50% of y'all are with me. That's good news. That's really good news. But here's the thing. Most Democrats currently approve of this, oh, we got to be kept safe, so you have to, in order to keep us safe, you have to, you have to scoop up everything about us. You have to know everything about us to keep us safe with no warrants. That won't lead to any trouble. No, that won't cause any problems later, Carol. Most Democrats approve. But Gallup did the same poll or a similar poll in 2006 about surveillance. And most Democrats were against, and most Republicans approved when Bush was president. You with me?
partisan nonsense.
Partisan nonsense, says the beautiful lesbian in the back. Partisan nonsense. Come on. I forget which one this is, Carol. There's a page about that. I don't know, 6, 7, something like that. Well, that's pretty good too. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, that one works. Democrats and Republicans are partisan on this stuff. Meanwhile, this is why this show's dedicated to far left and far right, conservative and liberal libertarians. You go to reason.com, there's some great links. You go to my Twitter page. Schneier's been really good on this. Stop being so damn scared. There's a really, really, really good piece that's been passed around. Yeah, that's you don't need to follow me. Make your life easier. But I don't bombard you. But I link to some things that I think, you know, the cream of the crop. I don't link to everything that the left-wingers pass me. I don't link to everything Glenn Greenwald says. I don't link to everything that Reason magazine says, but I routinely find the good stuff and link it. Here's the thing. It is not rational, I'm quoting now, it is not rational to give up massive amounts of privacy and liberty to stay, and this is great, marginally safer from a threat that, however scary, woo, terror, terror, you're just giving in, monkeys. You're just giving in to terrorists. It is not rational to give up massive amounts of privacy and liberty to stay marginally safer from a threat that, however scary, endangers the average American far less than his or her daily commute. Bam! End of story. Yes, terrorism rips up your life when it directly affects you. Yes, it's a huge rip through the very fabric of your being, your family, your friends, your city, everything. We understand that when it happens. But allowing that fear to create a subservience to this massive surveillance in every aspect of our lives, who you talk to, where you are, is crazy. It's just crazy. And now, I love this. Here's the thing. Even if you accept that, oh, we have to give up these liberties to protect us from terrorism, it turns out when you look at the examples the politicians use, they're lying. A big one, again, if you go to my Twitter page, I linked to the article. This one's from the Miami Herald, but even freaking BuzzFeed dissected the Obama administration's spin on this and Dianne Feinstein's spin on this. Republicans are doing this too. It's not just the top Dems now. Top Republicans, Mitch McConnell, all those guys, right? They're all on board with this massive surveillance state. They're lying. They talk about this guy, Zazi, right? They found a terror plot, Zazi. He had a bomb he was trying to create. And they're saying that this kind of program helped us find him. Well, when you actually, like the Miami Herald did, and if you go to my Twitter page, there it is, dig into the facts, even BuzzFeed, like I said, dug into the facts, and they find that no, it wasn't the massive sweeping surveillance of all kinds of citizens that found that guy. He was known, he was Al-Qaeda trained, he was on some watch lists, right? The phone records of sweeping up the phone records of millions of Americans had nothing to do with this. They eavesdropped on his internet communications. They already knew him. The FBI had the authority to eavesdrop on him, to monitor his account, because he was clearly linked to terrorism. He was clearly linked to terrorists. And they monitored him and they caught him. Ta-da! Massive surveillance and huge new data centers. They don't even know what to do with this information, but they're collecting it anyway. It's only going to cause trouble in the future. We need to stop it. Warrantless. It violates the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. A, they're lying when they say they need this level of spying to stop terrorism. B, even if they did, it's not worth it. Terrorism is minor. We have a call? There you go. Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Outstanding. First of all, let me say I love the show.
right.
We talked maybe several years ago, but I do have a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
What's your solution? I mean, because you got to have a balance.
Warrants.
Right now.
Warrants. They need warrants. They need specific warrants to collect our emails, our phone data. They can't just go to Verizon, Google, Facebook and say, give me this person's whole communications. In fact, give me everyone's communications ever for all time. That's what they're doing. They can't do that. They need warrants, specific warrants for specific people that they have specific reason, it's called probable cause, to believe are connected to terrorism. Otherwise, what you're doing, caller, is you're creating a state where any politician in the future can, for any reason whatsoever, get access to this data. We know that's going to happen. That's how these things work. Does that make sense?
No, I hear what you're saying.
Warrants. Make them get warrants. Make them get specific warrants. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Well, that you asked for I think that's pretty reasonable. They should not be allowed to collect massive amounts of phone data, internet data, emails, who sends what to whom. Oh, we don't read the actual email. Oh, bull crap, first of all. And second, you don't need to. You know everyone I'm sending every email to, when I'm sending it, where I'm sending it from, who's getting it, where they are to. That's crazy. You don't even have a warrant?
Well, let me ask you this question.
That's insane. What American would stand for that? We couldn't even get... Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you agree in the world we live now?
Oh, terrorism. Oh, I'm shaking.
Hold on. Let me get it out.
All right, but I know where you're going, but go ahead. Oh, he's going to say terrorism, Carol? Carol, it's terrorism. Oh. Go ahead.
The world is, I'm 38 now. I'm 38 years old. The world that we're living in now is different than we were, say, when I was 15 years old.
Oh, bull crap. Bull crap. The IRA was bombing all over Europe. The Palestinians were doing terror. The U.S. was bombing all over. I mean, you want terror? The world's always terrible.
The world's not happening here, though. We've had some
we had
soil.
So, how rare are they?
Look, let me get my question out, though.
Yeah.
Let me get my question out.
Yeah, they're rare.
So, with that being said, do you agree that certain freedoms that in the past we've taken for granted may have to be...
No. No. What freedoms? What freedoms? You said certain freedoms. I'm not sure which ones. What freedoms?
Well, we're talking about emails and phone calls.
What about the freedom to gather on... What about the freedom to gather?
Me personally, I have nothing to hide.
What about... Caller, I don't care. Caller! What freedoms? Caller! Caller! No, you gotta... Stop! Oh, I'm gonna hang up on you. You said certain freedoms. I'm sorry, Carol, I know you hate when I do this, but you said certain freedoms. What specific freedoms do you want me to give up?
Okay, and I said not totally give up, but for example, when you're talking about phone calls, you're talking about emails and things of that nature.
So privacy.
Right now in the political world.
Caller, what do you say? What else would you give up?
You're asking the question, let me give you the answer.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying emails. That's all you got for me, right? You're saying that you're willing to give up the privacy of your communications to the government without a warrant because you're scared of terrorism. That's what you're saying. Right?
I mean, it's easy to say when it hasn't necessarily affected
everything. I don't care. I don't care. This is called being an adult. This is called being an adult and looking at political problems without looking at them through fear, a lens of fear. Again, if you look at the risk from terrorism on the average American, the risk from drunk driving, the risk from a young child finding a gun, the risk of all sorts of other things are so much higher, right? Why aren't we willing to give up any freedoms to get guns off the streets?
But it's so funny, but as soon as something else happens, like a Boston or of course the 9/11, as soon as something else happens, everyone's going to be screaming bloody murder for the next maybe...
And that's why we need to not let...
Why did we not know?
Wait. Caller, you're really being irrational. Look, let me tell you, because none of this stuff that they're doing, this massive sweeping, stops terror plots. None of the terror plots that have affected America in the last 10 or 12 years since 2001, none of them would have been stopped by this kind of surveillance. They all were because of stupid mistakes in the FBI and the CIA not communicating with each other or not taking warnings seriously in the case of the Bush administration. They were all stupid little mistakes computers in the FBI couldn't share with the computers in the CIA, all that kind of, that's what stops terrorism. Caller, you are buying into the myth.
That were avoided because of this is something we've never seen.
That's what I'm saying. When you look, caller, that's what I'm saying. Okay, all right. We got another call. But caller, that's what I'm saying. When you look at this, that's what this is. And if you go to my Twitter page, I have a clear example. The government holds out these terror plots and says these have been foiled. And then when you look at the actual details, you got to pay attention, caller. When you look at the actual details, this one from the Miami Herald, I just talked about this. You look at the actual details of the terror plots they hold up, this kind of warrantless spying on all American citizens isn't what prevented that terror plot. That's just a fact. Again, I've got a link to the Miami Herald story. BuzzFeed did a story about this too. They're lying. Dianne Feinstein lied through her teeth about this one. The Obama administration is lying. All right? I can't believe it. Look, people, terrorism is horrible, it's scary, blah, 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 but it is minor. If you allow, this is what's called letting the terrorists win. It's so clear. This is letting the terrorists win. Oh, well, we got to give up some of our freedoms. Yeah, he's off. No, we don't have to give, no, we don't. We don't. It's not keeping us safer, and you're not thinking in the future. The future is the government has this huge surveillance database with no warrants. And anybody in the government can get access to this. I linked to a story on my Twitter page where people in the NSA were talking about sharing sexy emails and phone calls from people, from Americans overseas. They were talking about sharing them in the break room. It's crazy. The abuses are gonna happen. We need to stop it now. Go ahead.
Monkey, I just wanted to remind you of something that one of our great founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin.
The Benjamin Franklin quote, Carol, here it comes.
Those who essential liberty to obtain little temporary safety
deserve neither. Yeah. If you give up a little liberty for temporary safety, you deserve neither one. And you know what's amazing to me, caller? How many Americans are willing to accept the lie that they need to do this. The government needs to do this to keep us safe. It's a lie.
Unfortunately, they are the Dancing with the Stars bachelor crowd that can't see anything beyond their little sphere of influence, and that's all they do.
Yeah, it's a lie. I really get furious, as you can tell. I mean, that guy was just like, well, we got to give up some freedoms. What are you talking about? No, we don't. It doesn't keep us safer. It doesn't. Stop being so damn scared of terrorism that you give up your most basic rights. That's called letting the terrorists win.
The problem is yes, exactly. The terrorists win. If, we become 1984, if, 2013 becomes 1984,
Why can't they get a warrant? Why? They don't need this massive collection on everyone.
That doesn't even really matter at that point because the FISA courts have become a rubber stamp. So, yes, you've got a warrant, but it's like, oh, you need something, ka-chink.
That's true. That's true. They almost, I think it's like 0.003% of the cases do the courts say no. But still, make it the law that they need the warrant. That will help in future lawsuits from citizens if they didn't have a probable cause.
We need whole new laws regarding domestic drone spying and warrants on that. Everybody just seems to think that they're going to roll out drones and be able to spy from us on the air. We don't have to worry about spying through the computer, through the telephone.
No warrants. No warrants.
They don't want to have warrants for that either. They want to feel like they can sit up 20,000 feet and spy on you in your backyard and do whatever they want.
Yep. That's exactly right. And people are rolling over.
Someone make a comment once that they kind of went to the extreme, but they said, so what's to stop somebody in the national security apparatus from all of a sudden spying on you, thinking you're a threat, and then sending a Maverick missile down and smoke turning you into smoldering 4-foot cricket?
Well, you don't even need to go that far. If you're an opponent of the current regime or the current administration, whatever that administration is, if you're an opponent, they can find something to charge you with. The federal code, this is one of the other pieces of the puzzle. The federal code has been expanding. There are more and more federal offenses every year. They can find something to throw you in jail for, and it's just really.
Code, but have you paid close attention to the executive orders?
Like the assassination orders.
Oh my God, the NDAA and all the rest of them, they can literally now take control over every asset of American life, food, water, the whole 9 yards.
NDAA?
National Defense Authorization Act of 2012 or 2013.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, we want to get. All right. I'll look into that. I'll look into that one. But listen, we got to go. Yeah. We got to go.
All right.
We'll see you next week. Keep the fight. Keep the fight going. Oh, all right, Carol. We can get one more in, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, listen. They don't need it to keep us safe from terrorism. They don't need warrantless spying on all Americans. And you know what, Carol? Obama's like, oh, no, this is only foreigners. They only have to have, by their own rules, the NSA says, they only have to have 51% certainty that the people they're spying on are not foreigners, or are foreigners. 51% certainty. That's their own rules, right? It's crazy. And the people who are willing to roll over, and I love that it's Democrats now. In 2006, it was mostly Republicans who were rolling over. The partisan stuff has to stop. The partisan stuff has to stop. This goes deeper. This is the future of America right here. It really is.
Is there another Moral Monday coming up?
Yes, Moral Monday is coming up next week. Moral Monday coming up next week. Carol, I feel really bad that I just screamed. I hate that when they just don't get to the, why do we even take calls? I got.
I used my volume control to try to keep you in check.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well, no wonder he kept talking. She says she gets turned down the volume. What? How much time? 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3. Take care of each other.